YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Rob with Spread Splash Fragrance Reviews, and I am back with another video. This is going to kind of be like a part two to a video I did some time ago called A Place to Start. I'm going to be touching on a few fragrances that I think work for the average guy. If you're interested in finding out more about those fragrances, please stay tuned. Now, just like A Place to Start was a video I did specifically for guys that are not really into fragrances, this is a continuation of that video. So, if you are a hardcore fragrance head or you've got a million fragrances in your collection, this is not the video for you. If you're looking for fragrances that are going to push the envelope or be totally left field or extremely unique, this is not your video. This again is for the guy that is the average guy that maybe has one fragrance or no fragrances in their collection and they want something, that is going to be an easy to wear option that they don't have to think about and they can put it on in confidence, grab and go. It's that type of video selection or fragrance selection video. So, first up is a fragrance I picked up I think I picked this one up during the pandemic. It's one from the House of Dunhill, and this is Century. Really, really simple citrus. I think maybe mandarin orange, neroli. It's got like a wateriness to it, and it's got ambroxan in the base, so it kind of has this woody feel. This is like, to me, a white t-shirt warm weather fragrance, but you can actually also wear this fragrance when it's a little bit cooler, not cold out, but a little cooler out, because I think the woods in the fragrance will give it enough legs so it can, make an impression, but doesn't have what it needs to be like worn in the deep part of winter. But, for warm weather, spring, summer, maybe early fall, I think it's a really good option. You can wear it every day. Swiss Army knife type fragrance, and I'm not certain if the fragrance has been discontinued because I'm having a hard time finding this online at a lot of retailers. I did find it at the Dunhill retailer online, but it's about 80 to like 130 bucks. And I got this fragrance for about 40 bucks. This is a 4.6 ounce bottle, which is a very different size. You don't see that size often. Usually it's a 3.4, 1.7. So the size is a little weird, but when I bought it, it was extreme bang for your buck. If you can get it at a great price, this is when you can spray on and go and not think about it, and you're gonna always smell great. From the House of Dunhill, this is Dunhill Century. Second option is one that I think is a little darker, a little more mysterious, but it still falls within a very easy to wear, like common blue DNA. And this is, for him, Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir EDP. This is a classic DNA. Think Bleu de Chanel, something along those lines. But it's different than Bleu de Chanel, where I feel like Bleu de Chanel has a smoother grapefruit. This one, to me, is more of a shower gel citrus with a little bit of woods, but mostly that Narciso Rodriguez musk, right? It's known for the musk. It's got also like this, like the wood is like an ebony wood. So it's kind of got like this dark, I don't want to say smoky wood, but it's more of a darker wood than a lighter wood in regard to smell. But it's really all about the musk. And it is like in that blue lane. It's not exactly what, most guys have smelled, but it is a DNA that most people will appreciate. It wears well, it's not heavy. It's more of a moderate performing fragrance. And actually, after you've had it on for about an hour or so, it kind of comes close, but it's not necessarily a skin set. It's just a fragrance that a person has to be a little closer to you to smell it. but they will catch wafts as you walk back and forth. It's a very classy smelling fragrance, and it's one that you could actually put on with ease and wear it with confidence. And it could be a signature scent for somebody. Blue Noir for him, EDP Narciso Rodriguez. A line of fragrances that I don't talk about on my channel at all. But I definitely wanted to mention these because I think that this is actually a nice little lineup of fragrances that you can get at a pretty good price and worth mentioning. All right, from the house of Salvatore Ferragamo, this is the Acqua Essenziale line. Now, this is the original release, 2013. The nose behind all three of the fragrances is Alberto Morales. All right. So the first fragrance, this Acqua Essenziale, again, 2013, I like this one the most of the three. And the reason why I like it the most is that it's got this really unique, like citrus, lavender, geranium, mint opening, right? And then it's got like the woods in the base. That opening is unique for a fresh blue type fragrance. Having that mint and that geranium with the lavender and that nice citrus, it gives it a little bit of pop that you don't normally get in this type of fragrance. It does have a little bit of that blue component in the middle, but it sits just below the surface and it doesn't really stand out. It's a nice balance, very versatile. You can get this fragrance for about, I want to say maybe $40 for a 3.4. Incredible bang for your buck. It would work in almost every scenario. So first release from the line, this is Acqua Essenziale, Salvatore Ferragamo. Second one from this line is pretty much Acqua Essenziale Blue. Okay. This one to me kind of follows the trend more of the blue fragrances more so. And then I feel like with this fragrance, the ambroxan note on this one is a lot more amplified. Okay, so that shower jelly, like almost semi-salty C note type feel is more prominent in this fragrance. There are a lot of people in Fragcom that actually like this fragrance the most of the three. I've seen a few reviewers talk about like how, folks that watch their channel really, really like this fragrance. And I think this is definitely a solid release from the line. I like the original more, but if you like more of the blue characteristics, you might prefer this one more than the first. But do your own research. But I think that this is definitely a line worth talking about, and blue is a nice fragrance release. Okay. Last but not least is the third release, which I think came out in 2015, and that is the Colonia version of this fragrance. Now, I'm gonna say this one is probably going to hit more for the 35 and up because it has that classic Italian cologne vibe. If you know, that is the like lemony citrus top mixed with like aromatics, the herbs and spices, so to speak. Vetiver in the base, but it has a very distinct feel to it. It's more of a, I don't want to say it's a barbershop feel per se, but it harkens to a very classic style of fragrance, and it may not go over as well with a 20 something. Now, if you like that style of fragrance, more power to you. It's very masculine. It's very traditional. Definitely you can wear it to work. You can wear it to a lot of different, environments, situations. I just think that it definitely has a more mature vibe to it, but it's done well. This is the hardest to find of the three. The other two you can find for about 40, 45 bucks. All right, all day long. 3.4. If you find the 1.7, it's probably like in the 20s actually. And it also comes in a 1 ounce, right? This is the one that I really couldn't find online too tough. It's a lot harder to find this one. I don't know if this third one is discontinued, but still a great option. Aqua Essential Colonia, and the Aqua Essential line in itself is a very solid line. And the perfumer is Alberto Morales. So he did Aqua di Gio and many other well-received fragrances in the space. So, there you go. Two fragrances that I think would probably kind of fit the category of being a little bit more of an attractive fragrance for the average guy that you can put on. And if you're trying to make that type of impression, these would be great options. Okay. First up is one that might be a little harder to find. I don't know if it's discontinued, but it's from the house of Issey Miyake from the Issey line. This is Boys Arctic. This fragrance has a very unique opening in a sense that the way it's constructed, it kind of has like this cooling effect by a combination of notes. So it has that in the opening. It's almost like, again, like this cooling minty feel, which is like the yin, and like the yang is this, I would say, like this vanillic tobacco in the base. It's a nice combination, and it's one you might not think, like mint, tobacco, vanilla. You might think, I'm not sure if that works together, but actually it works very, very well. And because of the way the opening is, it has this cooling, like, lightness to it, where you could actually wear it in a warmer, climate. So I say the fragrance is one that would work in spring. It would work in fall. It would even work in winter. And believe it or not, it would work in summertime as long as it's not like above 90 and extremely humid. A evening or nighttime wearing this fragrance, and maybe you pull back on the sprays, I think it's got enough and it's not too heavy where it would work. I think that this is an all-purpose fragrance that, is different enough, but still very, very attractive, and the average guy can put it on and not even worry about it at all. All right. So one to consider, Boys Arctic from the Nuit d'Issey line from Issey Miyake. Next is one that I thought was the best of the first three, but it was almost like blasphemy when it came out because, people were so in love with the first two and they thought the third one, that would finally be perfection, and they went in a different direction. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, the One. All right. So for me, of the EDP, and this one, the EDP Intense is my favorite. Where the original, the focus is more on this kind of like, I would say, boozy tobacco feel. This one is different. This one has a much brighter, fresher opening. And then the base, it's more about this kind of buttery leather / patchouli vibe they've got going on. It just has a different feel. It kind of has some similarities where you have some of the one DNA in it, but it just goes in a different direction. I prefer this one more. I think the bright citrus opening is a nice change up, and then that smooth, like the warmth, does something different. That patchouli and leather together, to me, is just killer. I think it's an extremely attractive fragrance, familiar but different, and one that I think you can wear and you can make a very, very positive impression with the fragrance. You can get it all day long. It's easy to find. It's not too pricey. I would say maybe like I-60 is where you're going to find this fragrance price for 3.4. You go smaller, you'll pay a little less money. So it's definitely affordable. One to consider, the One EDP Intense Dolce & Gabbana. A fragrance that the average guy could pull out for formal events, that they could wear, smells masculine, smells classy, make a great impression. One I want to recommend. You can get it at a really affordable price point from the house of Lalique. This is Lalique Pour Homme. Extremely simple, tons of fingerprints on this bottle. Shine it up a little bit. It is one in which I think you get the rosemary, you get the oak moss. It's got a woodiness, and it is kind of a powdery fragrance. I know sometimes powdery fragrances for a lot of guys can be off-putting, but it's almost like it's that perfect balance where it never really goes into like like I want to say, I don't know if it's offensive or it just like too much. It kind of just stays at a certain point in regard to the powderiness and the fragrance, and like all of these other elements kind of like sit side by side with it. So it always like sits in this nice pocket of being um just it's so smooth. There are a few other fragrances that kind of remind me of this one. Um, Ovation by Sean Crenshaw and Ormond Man by Ormond Jane. This is kind of, I would say maybe this fragrance inspired those fragrances, um, but it is, I think it's a timeless classic fragrance that if you are looking for something like that, that you can pull out for those special occasions and it won't break the bank. You can actually get this fragrance probably like in the low $30 range and you can have it and not worry about it and pull it out when you need it. Good option. Very good option. All right. This is Pour Homme from Lalique. In the fragrance world today, two of the most popular fragrance DNAs, I would say, are Aventus by Creed and Sauvage by Dior. I've got two alternatives to those. All right. So I'm going to start off with the one that is an alternative for Aventus. This is from the house of Mont Blanc. This is Explorer. And I'm mentioning these two fragrances because I know that some guys might want to have a fragrance that is familiar and, they just want to have something that, it's recognizable, people really enjoy it and they don't have to think about that at all. It's just like it's even safer. Okay? So what you don't realize is though, for the average guy, that Aventus is extremely expensive, like $395, somewhere in that ballpark. You can get this fragrance at a fraction of that. You can probably get it for about $50, somewhere in that price range. And the thing about Aventus is that Aventus broke the fragrance world with that juicy pineapple combined with like the smoky birch. It just made this extremely like very progressive fragrance DNA that just took the world by storm, and like so many people like just loved it. They raved about it. It's considered the king by a lot of people. This doesn't have per se a smoky pineapple or birch accord, but I feel like they've recreated it in their own way, and it's got like this bergamot and pink pepper in the beginning that, or in the opening, that I feel like kind of replicate that juicy pineapple. And they've got some other things going on that kind of like, give the base some legs, like there's some vetiver in the base and some other things. It's a nice rendition of it. It's not a one for one. I don't think that was the intent. It's a nice alternative. And if you want something that would fit that, it's familiar and you can put it on with confidence, this is one to check out. Performance is average. It's not beastly. You can spray as much as you like, but it's a nice one. From the house of Mont Blanc, Explorer. And to provide a alternative for Sauvage, I'm going to go with Carbon by Prada. If you don't know, Sauvage DNA is this, I want to say, metallic grapefruit with some woods that is got like a Ambroxan slash bluish type feel to it. But Prada does it in the Prada way. Prada does clean citrus fragrances very well. They kind of, I think smooth the edges out a little bit. It's not as rough, metallic as the Sauvage is. It's definitely close to it, but it's got its own, feel to it. I would suggest do your research, but if you wanted a solid option to the Sauvage DNA, this would be a great alternative. And I believe the fragrance is still in production. Again, from the house of Prada, this is Carbon. So that's the video, guys. I thank you so much for checking out another video on the channel. I will talk to you soon. And until I see you, stay safe. Peace.